Hello. This is the first, subject in the Manual for Teachers. Who are God's teachers? A teacher of God is anyone who chooses to be one. And let me clarify real quick what the God means here. It could mean good orderly direction. It could mean a higher power. It could mean the source. I mean, there must be a source if we exist, right? Even atheists. You exist because something gave you life. You really think that you alone created this whole world or that you gave your own self life? Even if you think it's all an illusion, which really a lot of times our perception of things really is an illusion because we don't perceive clearly the reality of things. There must be, and I would love to debate anyone who would like to, but assume if you're here, you have already accepted the fact that you are part of something much larger than yourself, that the power and source and energy is derived from something we don't completely understand, although we try to, and that your very life is given to you from it. So that's what God is. A teacher of God is anyone who chooses to be one. His qualifications consist solely in this. Somehow, somewhere, he has made a deliberate choice in which he did not see his interest as apart from someone else's. Once he has done that, his road is established and his direction is sure. A light has entered the darkness. It may be a single light, but that is enough. He has entered an agreement with God, even if he does not yet believe in him. He has become a bringer of salvation. He has become a teacher of God. They come from all over the world. They come from all religions and from no religion. They are the ones who have answered. The call is universal. It goes on all the time, everywhere. It calls for teachers to speak for it and redeem the world. Many hear it, but few will answer. Yet it is all a matter of time. Everyone will answer in the end, but the end can be a long, long way off. And that's what a miracle is. It saves time. It's a shift in perception that cuts the time down that it takes, really. That's a miracle, and they happen every day. Their function is to save time. Each one begins as a single light, but with the call at its center, it is a light that cannot be limited, and each one saves 1,000 years of time as the world judges it. To the call itself, time has no meaning. There is a course for every teacher of God. The form of the course varies greatly, so do the particular teaching aids involved. But the content of the course never changes. Its central theme is always God's Son is guiltless, and in his innocence is his salvation. When we say innocence, we mean that like a forgiving. I don't want to touch on something real quick. The forgiveness that we're speaking of here, which gives you innocence, is that the way we perceive things, right? Well, first of all, most of the time we don't perceive what's really going on, right? The lesson that's in it. Everything that happens that seems like you did wrong or something happened that wasn't right, it was a lesson to learn. Okay, so when you see something happen, and usually you can tell when it is because it's a little bit of a irking, a little bit of a problem that you've seem to have encountered. The guilt goes and the innocence comes whenever you realize the lesson and then learn it so you don't have to go through it again. And that's real forgiveness, and that really reveals your innocence that was there the whole time. You were just playing with a toy that didn't serve you, basically. God's Son is guiltless, and in his innocence is his salvation. It can be taught by actions or thoughts, in words or soundlessly, in any language or in no language, in any place or time or manner. It does not matter who the teacher was before he heard the call. He has become a savior by his answering. He has seen someone else as himself. He has therefore found his own salvation and the salvation of the world. In his rebirth is the world reborn. This is a manual for a special curriculum, intended for teachers of a special form of the universal course. There are many thousands of other forms, all with the same outcome. They merely save time, yet it is time alone that winds on wearily, and the world is very tired now. It is old and worn and without hope. There was never a question of outcome, for what can change the will of God? But time, with its illusions of change and death, wears out the world and all things in it. Yet time has an ending, and it is this that the teachers of God are appointed to bring about. For time is in their hands. Such was their choice, and it is given them. Now let's talk about time for a second. He said that the time will end. What it's referring to here is whenever, for instance, when you're in a rush, you wake up, you're in a rush, and time's flying because you're really in a rush, and you're causing time to pass, your perception of time to pass much faster. Now, no one's denying the fact that change happens. Time and the accounting of it was enabled and enacted for us to keep track of changes so that we can coordinate ourselves and really be able to track and monitor our progress. So days pass, months, years, we see things change. It's really so we can see the progress that we have made, see how well we're doing, where we're at, and that things do change. So time is only to track change. Time really doesn't exist, and bear with me now. Also, when you really kind of grasp this concept and kind of free your mind not to be so enveloped and engrossed in the concept of time, which can be very, very wearying. I mean, it can wear you out. You really gain a sense of true freedom because, of course, I have appointments, I have my watch, I have my calendar, and I make them quite well and early now. But time doesn't weigh on me, right? Because I am in eternity. In my mind, in this moment, which now is the eternal power moment of now, here we are. So the end of time is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. And it's the interpretation of these teachings, these readings, and these words that I think once we further understand, we will realize the reality of things and what we are, who we are, what we're capable of, and what we have in store for us, because it's all good. So this was who are God's teachers, the first part of Manual for Teachers.